I'm Jay Gillen with Citizens for Peace, and we've been outside of Senator Mikulski's condominium for the whole summer. The report on the status of Iraq is supposed to get presented to Congress this month. We know it's going to be lies, and we're wondering if the senator is going to call them lies, or if she's going to go ahead, as she has in the past, and fund the war again and again and again, despite the fact that she knows that she's responsible for Americans being killed there, Americans being wounded, for the Iraqi people being traumatized, killed in tens of thousands. Will she do that again? Will she go along with the lies again and fund the war? Or will she have the courage to stand up and say, Maryland is against this war, we're not funding it anymore, bring the troops home?
Now, Jay, I think it's fair to say you protested her here, you protested her down her office, you and the others, that you're extremely disappointed in her reaction to this conflict and her lack of action.
Right. So, Senator Mikulski is the senior congressional representative in Maryland. She's the leader of the delegation. And before Senator Sarbanes retired, she told us that we really had to talk to him about taking a strong stand as a congressional delegation against the war, because he was the senior leader in Maryland. Well, now she is. And we went back to her and we said, you're the senior leader now. Why don't you gather the congressional delegation and say, Maryland stands against this war, and lead the country in saying our state will not fund this war anymore? And she told us, well, I'm doing what I can. I'm trying to persuade a few more Republicans to vote with us. I don't understand that. Persuading a few more Republicans isn't going to end the war. What's going to end the war is 40 Democrats deciding to filibuster any additional spending for Iraq.
So the rules in the Senate are, if they would do that, and they've got the majority in the Senate, not by much, that if they did that, that would be enough to stop it.
That's right. They don't even need a majority. All they need is 40 votes to filibuster any appropriations to the Defense Department or to the war in Iraq. And that the money can't be allocated, the war stops.
There's an undercurrent, another deeper fear, Jay, that if the Democrats don't stand up to Bush and Cheney, that we could have a war with Iran in the next year or so. That's a deeper fear. Absolutely,
and all of the indications are that there will be war with Iran next year to influence the election, the presidential election. That's how the Republicans do things, the Bush-Cheney White House does things. And the Democrats are falling in line to not be able to oppose it because they say, yeah, we've got to protect ourselves from the threat of Iran. There's no threat from Iran. Iran can't harm the United States, just as Iraq couldn't harm the United States.
And we're at a point now, and I just brought this up with Jay Gillen, Dean, that if the Democrats don't stand up, there's this possibility on the horizon of a war with Iran.
Oh, that is absolutely ridiculous.
Madness.
That is ridiculous. If we were serious about fighting Al-Qaeda, we would make peace with Iran, because Iran, after 9/11, gave the United States government intelligence information about Al-Qaeda, which it detests. And after the war in Afghanistan, which, by the way, I don't support either, but in any case, they said that they would rescue American flyers. This does not sound like a country that wants to be an enemy of the United States. They just want to control their own destiny. And whether we like the present government or not in Iran, and I don't particularly like it, we got to butt out and use them at the diplomatic level to help stabilize Iraq, perhaps, but especially to go after Al-Qaeda. There's absolutely no reason why we can't fight Al-Qaeda. But in order to do that, we have to withdraw from Iraq immediately.
I think it's about 11 or 12 weeks that you've been here every Friday night.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling about this now, right now with the vote coming up in the Congress for more funding?
I'm feeling pretty pessimistic about the whole situation. The Democrats are obviously not going to end the war and occupation in Iraq. They are obviously going to continue to vote for funding. And this is what happens when you put up conservative so-called Democrats to run for office. They wind up caucusing with the Republicans, and They continue to thwart the attempts of the anti-war Democrats, and unfortunately the Democratic leadership's going along with this. I think they think it's the only electorally possible thing to do. And I also think the Democratic Party does not want this war to end before the presidential election. It is what they're going to use to club the Republicans over the head with. So no, I'm not feeling hopeful at all. And Barbara Mikulski has been, she's very insulated. She's been in Congress since the 70s. I mean, she's been a senator since the 70s. It's just, she doesn't really have to pay attention to us, and she doesn't. And that's what governments become nowadays anyway. They don't have to listen to us. They're not going to. But we're going to be here as long as it takes. I don't care if I'm here for the next 3 or 4 years. I hope not, because that's an awful lot more dead Iraqis and dead U.S. soldiers. But I don't care how long it takes. I'll be here.
Let me just get a shot of your sign there. And now, Maria, the other thing that's coming up, and I mentioned this to Jay and Dean Pappas, is the possibility of a war with Iran.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
it's insane, isn't it? Can you believe we're going to stand here and talk about this? And actually, I believe that the Bush administration, it's cornered. And of course, instead of behaving as if it's cornered and just stopping everything and going away and being quiet until they're out of office, I believe they're actually going to do this. I've thought this for some time. Nothing reaches these people. Absolutely nothing. They're going to do it. And the Democrats will cave in because goodness knows they don't want to be painted as anti-patriotic. Although what that means and what it should mean to them, you know, that they don't pay attention to that is, they still pay attention to that is amazing to me. So yes, and I don't think the Democrats and Congress will do anything to stop it. I think it will be a done deal, and it'll happen, and that's going to be it. And we're going to have to live with the consequences, which are going to be horrific. Will make Iraq look like child's play.